Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today in this video I'll be reviewing, and listing 5 of the best cars with no Game Pass that are under $15,000. So basically I'm going to be going over really good starter cars like Greenville beginners or something like that. And in my opinion, it's highly recommended that you get these. I mean, they might be a little expensive, they might take a little bit of grinding, but at the end of the day, these vehicles are very worth it. So yeah guys, let's get started. Alright, so starting with this list, I'm gonna go from least expensive to most expensive, which actually is the most expensive is actually under 15 grand as well. But anyways, starting with the least expensive, we have the I think the Jupiter Halo from 2009. Now this is known as the Saturn, and I explained this in one of the Ace of Dukes' videos, so shout out to him for letting me use my voice on there. So you could check out that video in the link in the link in the description. But this car might look generic as heck, but under the hood and under the drivetrain, it drives like a beast. Alright, so let's just start this up. Pretty generic. Let's rev it up a little bit. V6 or inline 4, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, let's drive it. This thing is also pretty fast. Like, I'll do an acceleration test from here to the end of the dealership just to show you how fast it is. It did past 60 on that run. That just shows you how fast it is. And I absolutely love this car, mainly because it could take turns very well, as I just did there. And just look at it, it's so fast. It's a 6-speed automatic, and with only 118 miles an hour, it's the top speed. And in my opinion, this is one of my favorite cars to drive. Well, this was one of my favorite cars to drive when I first started playing in the revamp, of course, because all my data reset and I had to grind all that and whatnot. But anyways, the braking's also pretty good. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Saturn Jupiter Halo. This car goes for about $2,700 in-game cash. So it's pretty cheap. It's one of the cheapest cars you could buy in the game, actually. So I highly recommend buying this car. And with that, let's move on to our next car. Okay, so this next car is pretty recognizable. This one was very much recommended by a lot of other users, and it's one of the greatest starter cars in the game. And here it is, the Honda Civic 4-door sedan, or SI Coupe in this example. So under the hood is a 4-cylinder, and not only that, it's a bunch of other new trims. So let's go see that right now. Okay, so here we have the 2007 Horizon Slick page, and as you can see, it's a pretty generic car at first. We got the DX Coupe, X Sedan, SI Coupe, X Coupe, SI Sedan, LX Sedan, LX Coupe, Hybrid, and DX Sedan and DX Coupe. The fun fact about all of these, none of them are Game Passes, which makes it a really cool car. Plus, all of the trims are under $10,000. So that makes it in my opinion, that makes it a really good starter car for the most part. Now it's time for the speed test. The moment I've been waiting for ever since I bought this vehicle. First of all, let's start this up. Okay, pretty average. The engine, it sounds amazing for a 4-cylinder. Just listen to this. Oh yeah, VTech. VTech power! Right now, time to give you a little acceleration test. Okay, so here we go. Here's the speed test. We're not even gonna do a launch because of how fast this is. I love how this car accelerates so fast. Look. Five-second mark. Right there. Clocked it. 5-second mark to 62 miles an hour or 100 kilometers an hour. It's another 6-speed automatic or 6-speed manual, whatever you want to call it, and it's still about 140 miles an hour as a top speed. But still, this thing is such a daily. I could daily this all day if I wanted to. Let's check the braking. I haven't really checked the braking on this car yet, since I didn't really use it that much in GV. Braking is the only downgrade about this car. It's absolute garbage. So that's a minus. Overall, this is a 9 out of 10. Only the braking needs to get fixed. And plus the turning radius a little bit, even though it's a front wheel drive. But overall, this is such a great car to drive. It might take a little bit of grinding, since this trim is I think $7 grand, and I believe you only start off with $5 grand in the revamp, because that's what it's been like for ever since GV3, but I'm not too sure. So anyways, that's the Honda Civic Si Coupe. Now let's move on to our next car. Alright, so this next car is slightly more expensive than this from the last one, but this one apparently was a piece of crap in real life, but in my opinion, it's a great car. So here it is, the 2006 Chevy Cobalt SS sedan. The SS, if any of you are curious, stands for like super sport or like sports sedan or something like that. But anyways, this car is such a good daily. It looks amazing, and the rim options on this car are awesome. But anyways, I'm gonna actually show you the trim levels of this car. They're pretty great. Alright, to start off with the Chevy Cobalt or 2006 Chevrolet Zafiro. I don't know how the heck you could pronounce that, but at first it looks like a generic coupe, just like the cheap car. But then it gets more expensive as we go. So LS Coupe, SS Coupe, LTZ Coupe, LT Coupe, LS Sedan, LT Sedan, SS Sedan, and LTZ Sedan. And in my opinion, they're all great cars, because I actually tested out all of these, and they're pretty good city cars, and street cars, and sports cars, and daily cars, whatever you want to use it for. They're pretty much an all-around car, and the color choices are great as well. So in my opinion, none of these are passes even. So that makes it plus 1 point on how good of a starter car this is. Now I'm gonna start this thing up and let's do a sound test. Alright, so here's the startup. Pretty decent for a 2006 sports sedan. Let's rev it. Don't know why a 4-cylinder is supercharged, but alright. They probably got rid of the backfire. That's a bit upsetting. I think that's only on the SS Coupe, not the SS Sedan. Don't know why the supercharger is overpowering the rest of the engine. Probably because it's a 4-cylinder and it's so small. But otherwise, it sounds awesome. Now, you know what time it is. Let's do a speed test. I feel like I should do a launch for this car, but at the same time I don't, so I'm not gonna do a launch for this one, unfortunately, because even though it actually starts off slow a little bit, then it actually gains speed once you really get past like a certain speed, like let's say like 20-30 miles an hour. But anyways guys, let's do it. Uh, 60 in about the six and a half second mark. It's a 5-speed auto. 132 miles per hour as its top speed. This is a great daily car. I just have no other words for this. This is just a great all-around car. It was, unfortunately, a piece of crap in real life, but that doesn't stop me from buying this car. Like, it's just so great. You could do so many things with this car. Braking is way better than I expected, but it's still garbage. So anyways, yeah. Those are my thoughts on this Chevy Cobalt SS Sedan, or SS Coupe, whatever you want to call it. Now, let's move on to the next car. Oh, and before we do that, I just want to say about when I said it was a teeny bit expensive. It actually was a teeny bit expensive, since the SI Coupe from the Honda Civic actually went for 7.1 grand, well, this actually goes for exactly 8 grand, so it might take up a little more time of your grinding. Anyways, let's stop losing time. Let's actually move on to this next car. Alright, so this next car is, once again, a tiny bit more expensive than the last one I just covered. This one goes for about 9 grand, so it's gonna take up a little bit more of your grinding time to get this. If you really want this car, so I suggest just grinding for it. It's only like $4,000 off of your starter amount. But anyways, this doesn't stop me from reviewing it. So anyways, here is the 2006 Mini Cooper S. Well, convertible S even, because it's a soft top and it has an interior that looks very generic for the start of it. But once you like go in first person while driving it, it feels so much fun. Just driving it with the top down and just the wind blowing all over your hair. Even though wind doesn't exist in this game yet, it's still so much fun to drive. Plus, it sounds amazing, like basically all the other cars on this list. So anyways, guys, this is the Mini Cooper S. Let's see all of its trim levels, shall we? Alright, so here we are at the Bitsy Classic page. Yet again, it's the 2006 car. So first we got the base model, S model, it's not loading right, S model, Checkmate, which is a really cool paint scheme that I recently just began to like. I really began to like that paint scheme. It reminds me like some sort of rally car. Then there's the Monte Carlo, which is the actual rally car trim. The S convertible, which is the one we have, and it goes for about 9 grand. The JCW, I don't know what that is. And back to the base. Now, and none of these are passes, yet again. So, let's just go out and see how this thing drives and how this sounds. Because it actually sounds pretty amazing for the most part. Alright, so here's the startup. Sounds pretty generic. Here's a horn, bit dinky. Let's rev this thing. Is this a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder? I can't really tell. Somebody please let me know in the comments what this type of engine is. Is it a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder? Because I have a feeling it might be a 3-cylinder because of how small the car is. But anyway, before we get out and drive this, just take a look at this interior. Especially with the lights on, just looks so good. We got the turbo gauge, boost gauge because it's a turbo model, manual shifter, stereo, door handles. Everything just looks so nice. This is why I love the Mini Cooper in real life. It's actually my dream first car, IRL. So I would definitely get this in real life. It's just so fun to drive. Also, look, the rim choices you get again are so unbelievably good. This is not really as fast as the other ones, but it's a decently fast car. I just mainly like it for the quirks it has. So why not give it a little speed test yet again? For this speed test, I'm actually going to use first person to see how cool. Just everything is so cool. You could just look back at the back seats. You could just look out at the back. Well, see how it smokes. But anyways. 3, 2, 1, traction off. 60 in 8.3 seconds, not that bad. Another 6-speed auto. And 124 miles per hour, so that's actually decently fast. This is a perfect daily in my opinion. This is just the perfect daily. Spun out. Don't mind that, please. Anyway, those are my thoughts about the Mini Cooper. It's a fantastic car to have in the game. I'm so glad they updated it. It used to be a sleeper, so they kind of nerfed it. That's pretty upsetting. But anyways, let's move on to the most expensive car under 15 grand that you could buy. That's generally everything you want it to be. Alright, so this is the final car on this list, and it goes for exactly $13,000 in the game, which makes it the most expensive car on this list. Don't get too hyped up there. But anyways, you might think I'm gonna lie here for a second, but when I said it's everything you want it to be, it's everything you want it to be, alright? Okay, so this car is the 1996 Bullhorn Stealth, Ninja, excuse me. So this is actually based off a Dodge Stealth from 1996, and it looks something. It looks like something. A lot of people say that it looks ugly, and that was my first thought of it, and I thought it looked heinous. But under the hood is a twin-turbo 3.5 liter V6, and that says a lot for like a dinky little car like this. Plus, oh god, the rims. They just fit perfectly with the car, in my opinion. So this car unfortunately has only this one trim. It's called the TR Twin Turbo, and it looks ugly for the most part, but I do think a spoiler on the back could be nice, not just in the middle, stuck in between the rear window and the tailgate on the trunk. But anyways, that's not why we're here, and we're not here because of looks, we're here because of performance. Let's start this thing up. Generic quad exhausts. But listen to this V6, it's probably the best sounding generic V6 I've ever heard. Oh, just listen to that turbo. Alright, now it's the part you've all been waiting for. Let's do a performance test. Okay, so before the actual speed test begins, I actually need to see the launch. You guys actually need to see the launch of this thing. It's brutal, alright? It's an all-wheel drive drivetrain, which means it could do brutal launches. Just watch this. That was 60 miles per hour in like 3.5 seconds right there from that launch. But anyways, let's actually try and do the speed test. Alright, so this thing actually has brutal performance. This thing is such a sleeper. This thing is a bargain. Oh god, I wish I could see more of these in the game. I wish I could see more people driving this. But anyways, let's do it. So fast. That was 60 in 4.4 seconds. It's a 5-speed auto with the top speed of 143 miles an hour with traction on. So this is why this is my favorite car under $15,000 to use in the game. Well, obviously it's a no pass because this is a no pass vehicle. This is a no pass video, and yeah. Just no passes at all allowed for these cars, because I'm trying to encourage Greenville beginners like some of you, well, a few of you, because I know a lot of you play Greenville a lot, and yeah, this is basically a video on my advice on what cars you should buy. Well, this car is really 13 grand, so it might take a little while to grind. I mean, $8,000 is really not that much. So, yeah, that's basically my top 5 favorite cars. Well, top 5 cars you should drive if you're a Greenville beginner. Alright guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash a like and drop a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel, and otherwise you'll be cursed with bad luck forever. Anyways, thanks for watching my videos. As always, stay safe, and I don't know what else to say. Just goodbye, I guess.